And I just want to make sure that people...
Oh, I muted you, Heidi. Sorry.
I get to speak and then she shuts me up. How's that go, eh? Okay, so just to say to people, we do put all of the recordings of our events on YouTube, so they are open and available to the public, so just that you're aware. And if you didn't want to be on camera, it's okay to go off camera. So just to welcome everyone to our first Inner Freedom Outer Vision event of 2023. And we're excited to have you here for one of our favourite topics, creativity. We all tend to find reasons periodically to create something. Sometimes it's birthdays or Christmas or special events. But why not get creative all the time? Because actually it's our human natural state.
When you think about it, we are constantly creating. The stories we tell, the meanings we give to events and experiences, and how we perceive the world and ourselves.
Our body is creating every single moment, including new cells to replace those that it needs. In fact, we go through a complete cycle of recreation. So if there were no limitations and you could create absolutely anything, what would it be?
What are you creating?
Where are you creating?
What are you doing during the process?
And how are you feeling?
Is there anyone with you?
So open your mind, no limitations. Have fun and enjoy thinking about, exploring and feeling what you want.
As always, we encourage you to use all of your senses. Have fun, just play.
We like play.
Yes.
So, how old were you when you last felt that splurge of creativity? I'm going to take you through a process, and it's part of a belief process to explore. And you can open your eyes at any time, but for now, I'd like you to close your eyes. And I want you to remember back to a time when you were a young child, simply creating and having fun doing it. A time when you felt completely free. Get a clear sense of the scene that you're seeing. And now notice what the child is experiencing in as much detail as you can. Look at it, watch it, see what's going on. And now you're going to split your attention between your adult self and your child self. Your adult self will focus on observing what's happening and then move into your child self experience to experience whatever they experience and are still experiencing, because it hasn't stopped. All of the feelings they were enjoying at the time, and it will happen naturally. Now rewind the movie to the frame before they started freely creating and having fun. Just observe that moment before. Now freeze frame the scene and step into the movie with your child self. Go on, step in. Go and be with them. And now move that movie forward one frame at a time. And stop wherever you wish. Feel how you felt with all that creativity running through your mind and body. Breathe and enjoy it. Hold on to each moment. Keep taking it forward one frame at a time. Enjoy it. Embrace it. It's happening to you right now. Notice how your child is feeling. Do they have anything they want to say to you? Listen. Listen to what they've got to say. Kneel down to your child self. Be at their level. Now tell them that you love them and send them back off to play. And when you're ready, come back to the present moment and gently open your eyes. What made it so enjoyable? What enabled your freedom? And how can you recreate that right now? Share what came up for you in the chat. What were you doing, Dani?
Well, every time I do this, I feel like I learn a different aspect of my childhood. So this time I was in nursery school with those, the red, you only had the 3 colors to paint with: the red, the blue, and the yellow. And so I was making a mess and it was getting everywhere, but I was having so much fun, just like splashing the color and putting it around. And I think for me, what was so important was just that there was no limits. It was just that freedom of expression. I wasn't trying to do anything.
Yes.
So
mine actually took me to probably about 4, and I was laying on the sand and the sea was out, but there was still just about enough water on the surface, and I was just laying and I was creating a puddle, creating like a little ditch to see what would come in, what water would run in and what would come into the puddle with it. So I was creating almost, I don't know, but like it just felt like a free puddle and just seeing what would come to me. But it was just that sensation of being free to be able to relax and rest there with nothing around me, or not even aware of anything around me. I was just there, and that was my freedom. No one critiques, no restrictions or opinions, no limits. I'd like to do this more often for myself because I couldn't find anything. That's absolutely fine, Marek. That's absolutely fine. It takes practice.
Yeah.
The more you allow and the more you practice with that, the more that will come to you, because you're almost priming your subconscious mind to start to open up. And this is about, I mean, normally we use part of that process for finding limiting beliefs, but this was actually about finding when you have fun and when you're enjoying yourself. What came up with different creative projects, different stages of my life, brought the same exhilarating feeling. It was about 7 in the woods making a fort in the backyard into a castle. That's beautiful. Beautiful.
I think the key here is, and you can do this.
Yeah.
This is being recorded, so you can go back and have Heidi walk you through it again once we post the recording. But the key is you can always go back to different parts and let your imagination, walk you through to get in touch with that. And if you can't, that's okay. I mean, I have done meditations before or I've been doing something and they're like, go back to the age of 5. And I'm like, I couldn't get anything.
Yes.
And so I just trust that I can do it again, or I just grab onto something else. It's everything that you do is a learning experience. You don't have to do it. There's no right way or there's no wrong
exactly,
way.
Exactly.
It's just about exploring and connecting with those feelings we had before.
Yeah.
It's like when you develop a bond with your younger self, it enables you to connect with the things that you have forgotten.
Yeah. And I think what's important here is your inner child is still there. The child that enjoyed and played and had freedom and fun is still there. And they're still having fun or still wanting to have fun. So this is actually about you allowing it. I like what Natty said. I was a little girl. I was the empress of the world. I had to raise my children to be responsible and charming princesses. I forgot how much I loved digging tunnels in the dirt and sand to watch the water flow. Absolutely. Sharon, I created a zoo with all my stuffed animals, Dad's lumber scraps under a maple tree in the backyard. How beautiful.
This is amazing. And this is the thing, if you notice, it's not just different things. There's tree forks, there's using your imagination. For me, it was using paints. It can be so many different mediums.
Yeah.
But the whole key is the connecting with your creativity.
Exactly. I just put another one that's popped into my head. Was sitting under a huge tree, a willow tree. That they hang right down to the ground, and sitting underneath there making daisy chains, just creating daisy chains, because it's peaceful and it's calm and you feel accomplished because you've done something, but it's just being in that moment. It's beautiful. And I
I
love
like
that.
this.
Ilse, yesterday, felt this way yesterday. Good.
Beautiful.
This is fantastic. Yeah.
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 So the key is when you connect with your child, when you connect with yesterday,
Yeah.
and you connect with your, it's all about remembering what you might have forgotten, getting in touch with things that you might not have in a while.
Yes.
So that's what this process is about, because whether you're going back to your childhood or yesterday, you are creative.
Yes.
And that's the key.
Yes, absolutely. You are.
You are.
Yeah. Beautiful. So how do you or can you stimulate your creativity? We've already said by going back to your childhood, but what if you can't recall, and some of you couldn't, or you didn't have a creative childhood?
Well, this is where we come in, because you can come up with different ways to stimulate your creativity. So some of the examples, Heidi and I are going to list a few for you. You can get yourself colorful crayons, paints, markers, chalk, whatever else, a clean sheet of paper, and permission to play. Scribble, draw, pretend that you were 3. And if you can't remember, you can,
go grab a 3-year-old.
Yeah, go grab a 3-year-old, or just pretend that you're 3. Just it's all about imagination and creativity. But just, imagine that you don't have to draw anything specific. You can just put lines on the paper, play with color, but just get that color onto the paper in some way or form.
Yeah.
Another way, and you'll notice a pattern here, play music and move your body randomly. You can also try a recipe that you are curious about and have never done before, or try a food that you've never tried before.
And just picking up on that, trying a food you've never tried before. For your next meal, pick up the first mouthful with your fingers. Just pick up that first mouthful with your fingers. Then hold it to your nose. And just breathe in and smell it. And let that create in your mind what you're about to taste. And then place it onto your tongue. Using your fingers, place it onto your tongue. And feel it. Feel it arrive. Feel the creativity and that sensuality. And then taste it. And experience the whole thing fully. And the experience will be completely different. You've just created a wonderful experience. Or you can make yourself a sensory tray. Something hard, something soft, different textures. Now, I personally love corn flour because it's such a silky texture.
I like the fuzzy cloth blankets or just pieces of fabric.
Yeah.
And you'll notice there's a key. We're connecting with all of our senses during these. You don't have to just paint or do one thing. It's like in the examples before, making a tree fort. You can go outside and make fairy houses as well with little bits of nature. And if you love to write, and I happen to know that there are some on this call that do, you can write a short story or a paragraph about someone you don't know. It could be their perception. It could be, like sometimes you walk past a neighbor's house and you might see an open window. What do you think they're thinking of? You can write about the food, the new food that you're trying, and describe all of the senses that you have.
Yeah.
And how it makes you feel. So, what are you hearing? What are you tasting? What are you seeing? Use as many of your senses as possible. And, if you describe the way an experience makes you feel, what words would you use? How many words can you use?
Yeah.
And, but play with it, have fun with it. So what are some ideas that come up for you that we haven't mentioned? We'd love to know, like, what are some ways you stimulate your creativity or might want to try? Will you go out and make those fairy houses, or play with chalk, or eat food with your fingers?
Yeah. Or grabbing a 3-year-old.
With their parents' permission. We should put that.
Always with permission, please. And with the 3-year-old's permission too. I just got
yes, that's very important.
I just want to read through a few more of the ones that are cropped up. I used to ride a pretend horse on the log that my dad was using to build a sauna. I had that sauna until 4 years ago. That's beautiful. Another one, there was a burnt down cabin in the woods behind my parents' house. Just the hearth was left and I played house there. Fantastic. Parents love to play with their grandkids. It brings them back to their childhood. Absolutely. Do you know what? You have so much fun. You have so much fun. And sometimes it's the fun that you didn't have in your childhood. Because you give yourself permission. I just want to come back to the point that Dani made earlier. She said, give yourself permission. Don't let anybody stand in your way. Give yourself permission. Sharon, she's bought wraps yesterday. That'll be a whole new adventure. Yes, it will. Also, with whatever you're going to put in those wraps. And Marek said, letting a young child lead and go along. Yeah, absolutely. So what else? What else is coming up for you?
Oh, I love this one. In the summer, I love walking around the lakes in our city and making up stories of what the dogs that are being walked are thinking. That is brilliant.
Just to say, Steph, you could do that, not just with dogs, but all the people that you walk past as you're going somewhere. Make up the story of how all those people interrelate in your story. Morris just said do that with people. Brilliant. Yep. Fabulous.
Love
Absolutely. It's not about gossiping. It's about making fun. Yeah. Ilse, going to make a drawing painting only covering the bottom of the huge papers. My dad used to tell me I should fill the whole paper with a drawing, not just the bottom. Do it. Fill the bottom. You go for that. Leave the space. Leave the freedom of the space. That's fantastic. So, Dani, why don't you take us through a meditation so we can connect with our creative energy?
I can do that.
Oh, I know you can.
All right. So you may want something nearby to capture your thoughts after doing this. If you haven't done meditations with us before, we like to dive deep and sort of get you to think about things. Again, if nothing comes up, trust the process, go with the flow. We do have this specific meditation is available on the website, so you can go back and listen to just that meditation. All right, are you ready? Let's do this. So settle your body in your seat and just feel your spine align over your hips. Your feet are flat on the ground, and raise your arms up and above your head or as high as you can. You can link your hands, touch your hands together if you want, and just stretch up. And if it's comfortable, lean back to stretch just a little bit. Remember, you don't want to hurt yourself. You want to be comfortable. Lean to the right to stretch. Lean to the left and stretch. And then come to the center and just shake your arms down to your side. Wiggle those shoulders. Give those hands a final shake. And then take a breath in and exhale with a large sound of and just let that go. So inhale again. This time pause and exhale slowly. Releasing it. Inhale one more time. Pause and hold the breath. And exhale slowly. All right, settle your body into your seat again and feel that spine align over your hips. Just imagine it rising up. Feel your feet flat on the ground. Close your eyes and just focus on your breath. So feel yourself breathing in and exhale out. Really feel that breath as you breathe in. As you exhale, feel it against your lips. Take a moment to just sit with how you feel right now in this moment. And now we're going to use our imagination. Imagine that you are in a white space. You aren't sure if there are walls or a ceiling. You know that you are standing on something, but it's all white all around you. How do you feel being in this space? What is surfacing for you? Maybe something, it may be nothing. Just sit with it. Now before you appears a white table. And on this white table, there are paintbrushes and small cans of paint of every color you can imagine upon it. Some of you may have very big tables. And you look around in this space, no one's there but you right now, and you feel this urge to dip a brush in a can of paint. If you've already done it, that's okay. I know some of you just see paint and just want to play with it. But let's play with this paint. What color is the paint that you dip the brush into? Swirl it around. Smile to yourself as you feel that urge to play rise up within you. And you begin to just play. And you notice a white art easel next to you holding a white canvas. Maybe you paint designs on the canvas or explore with color. Just play. Just notice what you do with this paint. There are no rules. And now you imagine that you want to paint something else, and a chair appears. And you think of a pattern, and you begin to paint this pattern exactly as you envision it. It's pretty cool. Play. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, release. You are exploring. You are embarking on a grand experiment. If you haven't already, splash the paint on the area above, below, to your sides. Spill it, play with it, erase it, and start again if you so want to. This is your space. This is your imagination to play with. Now notice, what sort of things do you paint? Did you paint the ceiling, the ground, the walls? What kind of painting, what kind of artwork do you create around you? Is it a modern mess, abstract shapes and patterns, splotches, paint drops, a scene in the city or nature? You realize there are no limits here. Want a car? Go ahead, paint it. Want to go to the beach? Go ahead, paint it. Want to flick paint on a surface and see what happens? Spill a few cans? Do it. In this space, you can switch canvases with a blink. You can create your own rooms, your own house or building, your own landscape in nature, your own world. Take a few minutes and just play. What are you going to create? Spill it, splatter it, speckle it. Use your brushes. What are you creating right now in this moment? Just play. And after a while of exploring, you get inspired to actually paint your feelings. What does happiness look like if you were to paint it? Take a moment. Notice the colors that you use as you paint happiness. What kind of brushstrokes? Do you use words? in your painting? Do you paint in small, quiet strokes or large, sweeping, full body strokes? Does it differ for different things? Take the time to be aware and explore and play. Are you feeling happy when you're painting happiness? Now let's shift. What does anger look like? Notice the colors you use. Are they darker, lighter, bolder? Notice your brush strokes. Do you use words? How does your body move when you're painting this feeling? What happens if you were to paint sadness? What do you notice? How do you move? What colors? Are there words? What about frustration? Notice how you move, notice how you feel. Are you connecting with this emotion as you paint it? And we're going to shift again to freedom. What colors would you use to paint freedom? Do you use a brush? Do you just splash paint? Do you use words? How does your body move when painting freedom? What feeling do you want to paint right now? Just take a short time. What feeling do you want to paint? Notice what you're painting. And it's okay if these paintings aren't finished. That's not the point. It's about exploring. You can go back and finish them later if you want. It's your imagination. You can speed it up, slow it down. Have you painted joy yet? Have you painted delight? If you haven't, pick one. Joy, delight, both. And what colors do you use? How do you move your body? Do you use a paintbrush? Do you splatter the paint? How do you paint joy or delight? Or both? Take a moment and take a big breath in. Exhale, release. And look around you. This once white space, what does it look like now? Celebrate all that you have created in this short time. You can return to play here at any time you need to. You can experiment with painting your life vision, your next home, your favorite place in the world. In this space, you can paint like any artist you choose, or you can sketch. You have the power to create whatever tool you want to create with. There are no limits to your imagination. You have the power to paint your feelings. You have the power to explore in this space. So just be in this space for a little bit. And when you're ready to leave, you can put down the tools and imagine yourself standing with your hands over your heart amidst all of your creations. And stand there with your hands over your heart. In fact, bring your hands to your heart right now. And inhale the joy of creating. Exhale and release any tension. Inhale the delight of playing. And exhale whatever you need to release so you can enjoy more. Inhale a sense of playfulness. And exhale whatever you need to release so you can enjoy being playful. Inhale what you need right now in this moment. And exhale, release whatever you need to let go of. Let your body sway side by side. Wiggle your toes and your fingers. And when you're ready, gently open your eyes. Take a little time to jot down any thoughts or notes that you have, and know that you can return and repeat this anytime you wish. And if you want to share any thoughts in the chat, we'd love to hear them. Thank you. We hope you enjoy.
Thank you, Dani. How did that feel for you? Put in the chat what came up for you. Dani knows me. I think that's why she added a bit extra into the meditation at the beginning, because she knows damn well I would have splashed the paint all over the floor before she'd even said I could do that. Read that one well. But actually, I ended up painting one entire, I'd like to call it a wall, but maybe it was a wall, maybe it was something more than that, maybe it was floor ceiling wall, which was actually the jungle. And I stepped into my jungle. But then I went on to create a pathway through my jungle. And then when Dani was talking about delight and joy, that brought in the sunshine through the jungle, because my colors are bright oranges and yellows, and that just feels alive. But I also brought my 4-year-old into the white space, because then we could spend time and delight just drawing and painting and having fun on the floor. So let's have a look and see what other people came up with. A great way to start the weekend. Absolutely. Makes me think of Atlas of the Heart, trying to define emotions. Beautiful. Colourful world. The white space was snow. Oh, I love that. And great to drop spots of colour on it. Mari, I have to bring out my paints now and start painting more watercolour art today. Yes, please. Yes, please. Sunshine, jungle, sunset, unicorns, rainbows, grass and flowers. Love it. And we want to see these creations, Mari. I painted throwing buckets of paint at the wall and walking through the paint on the floor.
Oh, I love that.
Muddy paint puddles. Love it. Yeah, fantastic. I wonder if you could come up with food colouring paint for snow outside.
You can. You can. I know people who do that. You put it in food coloring in a water bottle, and you can do the spray. So I know people who do that. I know other people who they pack the snow really tight, and then they use the water to paint as well. And I want to touch on the next comment, because I was wondering if this would happen for anyone. I froze when you mentioned paint anger and frustration. And that's okay.
Yeah.
Because I asked you to paint some heavy emotions, and not everyone will be comfortable with that. And that's okay.
Yeah.
Because it's about you exploring those emotions. Heidi and I have talked about the power of emotions and creating emotional recipes in previous events. When you know what causes your emotion, you can create a recipe of what triggers it. You know, you can write down all the things that contribute, and you can also create what counteracts.
Yeah. What directions are you going to use to get yourself out of it? So just picking up on that point, when Dani was doing that part about painting anger, I threw all of the pots. I just kept picking up pots and throwing them on the floor, not just the paint, but the whole pot, because that felt more releasing for me. But when she talked about frustration, I did nothing. I just looked at it because I became frustrated then that I hadn't got any pots to do anything with, because I'd already thrown them on the floor with anger. But that beside the point. But it was just about feeling what was the shift, what was the difference, and therefore what could I do with that. Mara, we've got a festival coming up here. Make ice and snow figures and colour them with food colour. Brilliant. Love that. Great for kids to paint on the snow. Struggle painting sad. Yeah, I understand that. I understand that. But again, that's about how would you release that sadness out of your body? What would that movement be like? How would that feel for you doing it? Godson painted rainbow with me in the circle, hands raised with expression of fulfillment.
Ooh.
These are all beautiful.
I think we've got some really creative people on this call.
Yeah. So how would you paint sad, Dani? How would you paint sad?
For me, sad is actually very beautiful. It's a lot of blues and grays, and it tends to be water-based. So it's different each time I paint it. Like when I do this for my emotions, it's different each time.
Yeah.
And for me, it's the water, it's the flow. Because I've experienced, especially this last year with my dad and everything, I've experienced a lot of sadness. And the one thing I've learned with emotions is letting them flow through you.
Yes.
Because when they flow through you, they get out. Otherwise, you stuff them down, and that can cause challenges. So yeah, so for me, sadness is actually it's a very beautiful painting with different, it's very blue and gray, and it's very like, if you looked at it, you'd think of flowing water.
Yeah. I like what March just said. They'll start sad with rain and showing them drop into puddles. Yeah. Yeah. But of course, what happens as they drop into puddles? The puddle creates opportunity to step into that puddle and do and be something else. Because the sadness has now created something new and different.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah.
I want to touch on this. I love this. I didn't paint. I envisioned the color or technique. Anger was muddy, sad was drippy, frustration was short and choppy strokes. That is really powerful, because if how you painted, or whether you didn't paint, or the thing is we lead you through these, but sometimes your imagination is going to just do what it wants. So like Heidi's going to grab paint pots and splish them on the walls before so it's what works best for you and how you create, and notice the strokes if there's clues to these. So I recommend go back, do the meditation that we created, just the meditation, and sit with your journal, because you get clues to who you are and how you respond to things in this. Yeah. And you'll notice too, when I was doing it, we ended with joy and delight. Yes. Because you can go deep, and this is not like, we're just giving you tools. This is not, a therapy session or anything like that, but you can use these tools to explore who you are and how you deal with things as well. So, and I like the fact that although you didn't paint, you envisioned. Yes. And by envisioning, you've envisioned the action or what you might do, or something you could do that would replicate the muddy, the drippy, the short, the choppy strokes. And build that into your emotional recipe that says, when I feel this emotion, this is how I want to imagine myself out of it. And you can take yourself on that journey. I think I spend so much time in being a victim and being angry and frustrated and sad. I don't want to spend any more time in it. Absolutely. That's beautiful. So you don't have to. Change it. Change the movement. Change the action and the movement of your painting, so that you're coming from angry and frustrated and sad into something else. What would that be? How would that movement change and shift you? How would it shift the mindset? Because the emotion is in the mindset. It's also in the body. So how can you paint and let that out? And I got to touch on this last one. For me, the white room was a blank sheet of paper. Instead of painting, I was writing scenes, memories, and fantasies. This is key, because remember, it's your room.
Yes.
So you could do, and I was hoping someone would use words, because it's what you create.
Yes.
And the medium is all yours.
Yeah.
Good
Steph
stuff,
loves the word delight. And Sharon was focused on color and shape more than the actual painting. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So color and shape. What does it look like? What does it feel like?
And it's right, Marit, you can do this exercise through dance, through singing, through drawing, stick in the stand, cooking. You can do it with cooking.
Absolutely.
It's all about
if you're
having
feeling
fun.
frustrated, you can stir the pot faster. Come on. Just don't start flicking it around the kitchen, because then you've got a cleaning up job. Unless, of course, you love cleaning, in which case that could be an opportunity to shift from one emotion to another. It's about having fun.
Mm-hmm.
It is about creating fun.
Yeah.
That's beautiful. What else have we got? White cabinet is a canvas too. Yes, absolutely. Mm-hmm. But so is the chair.
Or the table.
Yeah, or the table. Or the paint pots themselves.
Yeah.
You could have created something out of the paint pots.
Yeah. I love that. It's very powerful.
Yeah. And is it a room? What shape actually is it really?
Yep.
Yeah. What if it was the universe that was all white?
Mm.
And you could create your own path to your own planet or star or galaxy or universe.
Yeah.
And what would that journey look like on the way? What magic and creation could you have getting there? Yeah, the planet. Absolutely. You can create anything because you can create it in your mind. Mm-hmm. That's beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. These are fantastic.
Yeah.
So it's about bringing creative play into everything you do, each and every moment.
If you haven't figured this out already, it's about allowing your mind, body, spirit, all of it experience creative playfulness. Using all of your senses, which I love because we have gotten such a spectrum of ideas and senses today, which has been brilliant.
Yeah.
But using all of these senses invites creativity. It invites you to figure out how to use them. And it really helps you to embody it on multiple levels.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, we touched on this throughout the whole thing. I mentioned patterns, creating sensory activities, giving yourself permission to create like a young child with no limits, permission to move your body and allow your mind to create using stories.
Exactly. And another way is by expanding your own creative play by engaging and joining in with other people. Mm-hmm. Whether that's adults, whether it's children, just go join in and play. Yeah. And love that. Yes, Maury, allow. Mm-hmm. But also give yourself permission. That is allowing, but you have the permission to do whatever you want. So how will you create playfulness? How will it create playfulness impact your thoughts, your visions and actions?
So what could you change right now to create this impact of creative playfulness in your life?
What new thoughts will you create? What are you focusing on?
And what does creative playfulness look like as a vision? Is it exciting and compelling? Where do you want to put your energy?
And what actions will you create to take you there? What decision do you need to make? What permission do you need to have? What are you going to allow? Share your thoughts in the chat. I like this, Yvonne. I must remove limitations and pretend someone else cleans up the mess.
That's the beautiful thing about using your imagination and going to a white room in your head is you can just imagine, boom, you snap your fingers and it's cleaned up.
Mary Poppins comes to mind already. Ching!
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Schedule a quarter hour a day for creating. I love that.
I love
Make
that.
it a daily habit to create something.
I'd like to share this year, or well, the end of last year, I was looking at my values and I changed my first value from, it was, you know, health and vitality. And I changed my first value to playfulness and fun. And so I started looking at my life through a lens of playfulness. And the playful creativity ties in with that because a lot of times I have fun when I'm creating. And it's really changed the way I live my life. It's changed my vision. It's impacted how I deal with people. So remember that creative playfulness, there's a lot to it. There's a lot you can do with it. And looking through that lens at your life, it can be really interesting.
Yeah, it's interesting you've just said that because I'm looking up at the same picture that you're looking at there, but it's my one, not your one, of course. And mine was about organic creation. So just by an organic creation, I'm naturally looking at what's happening to me, around me, for me, through me. And that in itself is giving me creativity because I'm constantly looking for it. I'm constantly open-eyed to what's coming towards me that's helping me to create my own future. And that in itself is organic. I chose joy as my word, emotion, quality for 2023. Beautiful. Joy in every moment.
And yes, please do use the white room meditation or the white space meditation if that helps you to stimulate creativity, because that's what it was created for.
Yeah. Be in the present moment always and imagine myself doing an activity I love or enjoy. Natalie, one emotion I want to cultivate is surprise. Beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Love that.
Yeah. And you can equally, using the meditation, go take your inner child there and play together. Let them enjoy playing with you. You're free.
Yep.
These are fabulous.
So now that we've talked about all this creative playfulness, what will your 2023 look like with the addition of creative playfulness?
Share that in the chat.
Yeah. I love this. Having a sense of wonder again. It's arguably the greatest gift of childhood. Yes.
Yes.
You can just apply that to all of 20. Just what wonderful things will you discover? What will you wonder about in 2023?
Yeah, there's two words that spring to mind when you said wonder, and that's one of them. The other one is awe.
Yeah.
Because as a child, you're in awe of everything around you because there's no limitation. You don't know that. You don't see that. And it's the limitation that stops us. So letting that go and just allowing yourself to be free to explore and have fun. So what creative playfulness does it include, your 2023? What can you add right now to make an even bigger difference? How much more fun can you have in your life vision? Your vision for your future? If you sprinkled a little bit of magic fairy dust on it and said, I'm going to add 10% more fun, what's it going to be? What's going to raise it up for you right now?
You can simply ask yourself a question. How can I make this moment even more fun? Yeah. How can I be more playful in this moment? Yeah. How can I play with others in this moment?
Share what's coming up for you in the chat. How are you going to make 2023 even more playful and fun and creative? What are you going to do?
We've already had someone dedicating time to create every day. Allow myself to be open to possibilities. Yes.
Wow.
Not worry. Yes.
And I love Yvonne's. I'm going to start writing, and I'm not a writer, but I think my inner child may be. Wow.
Ooh. Love that.
Take yourself back to a moment when she felt that that was what she wanted to be.
Mm-hmm.
And go there with her.
Yeah.
Enjoying every moment, use multiple scents. I'm going to cook dinner, and I don't cook, but I'm going to play some great music while I do it.
That's brilliant.
And then don't forget the sensory bit, your first mouthful. Pick it up with your fingers. Yes. Smell it. Touch your lips with it. Creative sensuality.
Yes.
Yeah. Brilliant.
So how will viewing your life through the lens of creative playfulness change it? How will viewing your life through the lens of creative playfulness change it? We'd love to know. Okay, I love the let my 4-year-old create my vision for 2023. I want to know what that vision is.
I want to know what that looks and feels like. That would be amazing.
Yeah.
In fact, I might even have a go at doing that myself. In fact, I think I will.
Yes, I think that it would be a great way to end the work. I have a friend who ends her work day every day. Before she makes dinner, she creates. Or if she can't do it. And I have another friend who has evening time reserved.
Yeah.
Specifically for creating. And it can be 5 minutes. It can be a half hour. It can be longer. 5 minutes makes a difference. One sentence. If you're, if you want to play with writing, you could start with one sentence.
Yeah.
It's so many possibilities.
Create scrapbooks.
Yeah.
I can remember a friend of mine used to play with myself and my daughter when she was only about 3 or 4, and her opening words at the table, because she used to have Fimo, and a bit like sort of Play-Doh, but it's Fimo and you can bake it. And she'd always say to my daughter, start with the sausage, just start with the sausage. And we always started with the sausage, and you roll it out into this sausage shape. And then she'd show her how to break it up into smaller parts. And suddenly she's created a bear out of a sausage. And you think, so how do you do that? But we've still got a couple of the bears that she created at the age of 3 and 4, because we then baked them and they're in the cupboard and they're fantastic. Because it opened up her mind to imagination and creativity. Daydream. I love that. So I'll be lighter. I'll smile more. More music, less news or TV.
Yes.
Daydream. Love that. Daydream.
Yes. Journaling beautiful events or little successes of the day every evening.
Yeah. Elsa's going to
start with the sausage. There you go, Heidi. You've done it again.
We might even do a life book event for those that you are a life book. We might do let's start with the sausage. I'm sure that I just have to think which category we're going into with that one.
I wasn't going there, but I was thinking.
I was thinking health and fitness. Start with the sausage. Come on. Into intellectual. What could you do with it? Emotional. How's it going to feel? I was going to work my way through all of them. I'll make 1-inch ball each day from fleece or wool. At the end of the year, I'll have my colourful ball linked garland.
Ooh,
beautiful.
That's beautiful.
Yes, absolutely.
How do you like this one? Look up at the clouds.
Yes.
Allow them to lead me and spark my imagination. Don't advise you do while bike riding though, right, Heidi?
No, because I tend to crash into fences and gates and all sorts of things. Yeah, absolutely. But of course, I do get to see amazing pictures in the clouds, because suddenly you look at a cloud and you see an elephant, or you'll see a tiger, or you'll see something amazing, because just that moment when the shape hits you, and because then it's gone, but you had that magic moment. Yeah. Spark. I've taken some pizza pepperoni every evening. Absolutely. Clouds are a white canvas as well. Yes, they are. And nature colours them. and colours them with some magical colours. Cloud pictures in Facebook. Yeah, they're great. It'll open up your own creativity to create something. So the more you create, the more creative you become. And creating greater value in our life is easy when we do it all the time.
Mm-hmm. Does anybody have any questions, thoughts, comments? You can chime in, and I am going to post the links in the chat that we have.
Thank you.
Yes, the more you create, the more creative you become.
Absolutely. Your mind was born to create. It started creating the moment you were conceived. It created even more when you came into this world. 7:30 till 8 will include creative time for me each night. Opening the locked box, now thinking outside the box. You just got creative. You created how you're going to get out of the box. You could even go change that box into something else. It could be a boat. It could be a car. It could be a castle. It could be whatever you want it to be. Yes, creativity is a missing category in Lifebook. And John, at one point, thought about creating it. And he didn't. So maybe there's an opportunity for us here.
Well, I think he said, too, creativity flows through all the 12 categories in Lifebook, which is why.
It does. But it feels like a wraparound then.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
You are most welcome for the meditation and the reminder of the freedom of creation and permission. I'm very good at giving people permission to do things. So like, if you need it, just.
I'm thinking, Dani, maybe we'll do a once a month event on creativity for that category.
I like that.
Yeah. Good idea. Let's do it. We will do it. Yay. Yeah, we'll do it. We will do it.
I love this.
Yes. Brilliant. Then we'll do it.
A creative meditation every month. We can do that.
Well, we can put that into the event.
Yeah.
That'd be fabulous. Happy weekend. Happy creative weekend.
Yes.
Go fun, have fun and play. I get to create almost every day. I have a 2-year-old in my home. So I don't grab a 3-year-old, I grab a 2-year-old. But actually, I don't grab her, she grabs me. But I get to go create fantasies and imagination and dreams and yeah. And we'd love to hear back from you about what you went on to create.
Yeah.
And you can share that on the comments on our YouTube channel, or for those in Lifebook, you can share them with us there too. Yes, we'll see you next month. Yeah.
Oh, thank you, Marit.
Yeah.
We appreciate you. And you are also welcome. You know, Heidi and I do this because we love to create.
We love it. We love it. We just
and
love
we
doing
love
what we
to
do.
Elevate other people. So
we get the fun to create together to create the event. And then we get to create the event. And then when the event's created, we allow you to go create. So actually, we get a triple creation. Triple whammy.
Yep.
Yeah. Share what you do. Share your joy with other people. There's nothing more magical. Nothing. Beautiful.
Awesome.
It's been lovely seeing you all.
Thank you, everyone, for coming. And
thank you for sharing your creativity.
Yes.
And even your vulnerability of saying that you couldn't think of things at certain stages, because that's okay too.
Oh, you have a wonderful day and weekend as well. And yes, we will be doing another event next month.
Yes,
on
we are. On top of the new event that we've now committed to doing. So yeah, we're going to be doing 2 events next month. But that's fine. Yeah. That's all good.
Well, actually, for those of you who are in the Lifebook membership, stay tuned, because I have a glimpse of what's coming up in February, and yeah, there will be some more fun things happening involving creativity. So
Excellent.
I'll just drop that little
gem in there.
Yes.
So yes, go surprised and you'll have a lovely surprise. Intellectual creativity, absolutely.
Yes. Yeah.
But of course, intellectual creativity is also what you're thinking.
Mm-hmm. How you integrate information.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, everyone.
Go have a beautiful weekend.
Yes.
See you all soon.
Take care.